Greetings everyone, wherever you are domiciled and watching from. Yes, I remain your one and only brother, Obasi Ikechukwu. Yes, I'm a humanist and an unapologetic atheist. Yeah, unapologetic, I said so because I do not owe anyone any bagger any apology for taking to this philosophy of life. So I have come today to especially celebrate my fellow free thinkers, the atheists. So on this note, happy International Atheist to all atheists around the world. I bring to you good news, goodwill message, and good news of trying to scout for religious freedom, in as much as it's not easy in a Islamic society like Nigeria, where people have been brainwashed using religion. I feel that we will continue to forge ahead, we continue to do the needful, we continue to liberate the people mentally, to understand that superstition is a problem, is a kind of impediment to the progress of our society, especially the African society and Nigeria, where I'm domiciled and speaking from. So on that note, I greet everyone. I appreciate everyone. And on this note, I equally want to call on the government to uphold secularism, to uphold religious freedom. It is obvious from the practice that religious freedom is not respected. Freedom of expression is not respected. In Nigeria, Section 24 of the Cybercrime Act have been used by the government to impede on freedom of expression and religious freedom. Sometimes it gets me laughing that some of the Nigerian cleric derive joy in using police to, truncate religious freedom and freedom of expression. Some of them, they claim that they have a God that is all powerful and all knowing. But when a person, a ordinary citizen, criticizes this God, that God does not come to fight for himself. You use the police and intimidate people. So on this note, we are calling on the government to respect secularism, that true secularism should prevail in Africa, because if it does not prevail, it will lead to chaos. Yes. Now that some of these religious leaders are using the security agencies to intimidate people, the free thinkers can actually uphold that. When you collect money from the people, or you collect offering and tithe without using it to build any project, you have abused people's right to own property, because money is a personal property. So if you begin to do it by way of law, we are free thinkers, and if the judiciary is not biased and we begin to come by the way of law, we may leave social media and use the law. Whenever you collect offering and tithe without using it to build good project for the members, we use the law against you. We sue you. Good enough that under the fundamental human right procedure rules in Nigeria, the FREP rules, you don't even need a local standing to sue, to bring an action under the FREP rules. You can always bring a public interest litigation under the FREP rules. No, in fact, the new FREP rules have broken that era, whereby you need a local standing to bring any human right action. No, now you can bring a public interest litigation. So under public interest litigation, we will be able to bring an action against any pastor that financially shortchanges members by collecting offering and tithe, and diverting it for his own personal use. We can actually bring an action under African Charter and under the 1999 Constitution, which guarantees right to own property. You see, so you cannot escape the law if we free thinkers want to use the law against you. You see, so if we want to set the law in motion, you cannot escape it because we think critically. And if the court is fair enough, if the court is impartial enough, it will err on our side. So it's better for us to just resolve this conflict and not allow intolerance to, breach mutual friendship. Best thing that can bring about mutual peace and tolerance is through secularism. But if you want to use the law, we can actually use the law. Yes, we advise our members not to do those things that amount to cyber bullying and cyber stalking, as it is right. Though the ECOWAS court has outlawed that provisions of the Cybercrime Act. But if you persistently use that to intimidate free thinkers, we are free thinkers, we are critical thinkers, we know how to use the law better than you. So if you want to infringe on people's, you want to use the security agencies to impede on expression, to impede on people's right to express their views, to intimidate religious critics, you are opening a floodgate of tension, of religious tension, and also you are opening a floodgate of unnecessary crisis. So there should be peace. So in this season of religious freedom, because that is what Atheist Day implies, religious freedom. It does not necessarily mean the gathering of those that do not believe in any deity. No, it represents religious freedom. Because what has led to the rise of free thinking in Nigeria is the intimidation. When you tend to intimidate people, you then convince people that what you are worshipping is created by man. That, on the contrary, that man created God in his own image and likeness. But if you learn to tolerate critics, it will bring about a long-lasting peace. And this epoch of free thinking may not have even risen to this point. Take for instance, when humanism and free thinking started was in the era of the Dark Ages, when religion hijacked and dominated everything and couldn't allow people right to expression. So it started that way. Even in the Christendom, there was a time of reformation, a time of a religious revolution, you understand, by the likes of Martin Luther. So you cannot remove, whenever you want to enthrone totalitarianism and autocracy, you are opening a floodgate of activism and disagreement and opposition from all corners. And this 21st century religious tension should be the list of things bothering our mind. What should be bothering our mind is technological and scientific advancement, because circumstances have shown that these are the means we can develop better, not ideological and intellectual argument that does not do much. If not for the way religion bullies everything, hijacked everything, I would not leave the public space alone. I will not let secularism prevail. True secularism prevail. All this media war, media paparazzi wouldn't have been possible. But you are the persons that created the floodgate. So we are calling on you to stop this, so that everyone will live in unity. There should be unity in diversity. There should be tolerance. You should not always try to bring religiosity into the public space. Look at Nigeria. The public schools have been religionized. Transportation industries, you go to transportation company to transport yourself to your destination in peace. Some persons will be constituting nuisance. Somebody that must have prayed in his house will come to the public vehicle to constitute nuisance. So if religion can just go back to the private space and stop taking the public space to bring about problem in the society, because in any society where there is diversity and you want your own religion to be the top notch, other religion will come and want theirs to be the top notch, and there will be clash of interest, and that will lead to conflicts, just as is happening in Nigeria today and every other African society. But if we can move away from this ideological conflict and understand that it doesn't worth it, we can then help our government to build a better country, a better continent, and not let religion, tribe, toxic ethnicity or ethnocentrism to divide us and make us not to reach to our hoped destination. I also urge the government to help us out, because the government seems to be accomplice in this epoch of religion taking the public space. So that is what I, as Atheist Day celebration goodwill message, that is what I want to leave the world with. That is why I don't want to sound so sarcastic, because everybody is so important. We are here for peace. But there can never be peace when there is no compromise. So the religious people, the religious institution should learn to compromise. Religion should be in your private abode. Pray in the morning, do every other thing in your home. It should be personal. It should be a personal right. But the public right is secularism. Secularism is a public right, while religiosity is a private right. So private right ought not to supplant, ought not to delete the public right. The public should prevail, because in public there is diversity. So in diversity there should be compromise. So on this note, to mark this wonderful celebration, I am going to specially present an honor to no other person than Mr. Paul Ewans. Mr. Paul Ewans. Mr. Paul Ewans is a mentor. He's a grand patron of African Humanist and Secular Advocacy TV. So on this note, I am officially, on behalf of the team Secular Advocacy TV that is operating in Nigeria, presenting Paul Ewans this wonderful package, this wonderful gift, as a sign of love, for his love and support, for his excellence in championing secularism, in championing freedom of expression, in championing religious freedom in Nigeria and the world generally. So thank you. Thank you, Paul Ewans, for being a grand patron of Secular Advocacy TV and African Humanism. Yes, another person that we are presenting. Yes, one of my team member is here. Yes, she's here, well represented. So one of the persons we are presenting a posthumous recognition is no other person than Lynda Tilley. Lynda Tilley is the Amazon, is the Amazon of African humanism. We respect you, Lynda Tilley, the Amazon of African humanism. We are presenting this posthumous honor to this great activist, this great humanist icon, this great atheist par excellence. I urge everyone, every person, to embrace humanism, religious freedom, and mutual tolerance. Thank you all.